If you look at this house from out front, there's nothing really special about it. But if you look out back, there is something very different. What you see here is something called a laneway house, which is a Vancouver phenomenon. People divide their property in two and build a house in the alleyway behind the house. The reason that people build these houses is to offset the price of their existing house, which can go up to $3.5 million in this area of Vancouver. The Royal Bank of Canada Economics Department indicates that paying the mortgage, property taxes, and utilities on a detached house, which would mean a bungalow or a two-story building in metropolitan Vancouver, requires more than 85% of the median household income. This compares with about 35% in Calgary or Edmonton. The Vancouver housing market is overheated at the moment, which means that when a place goes on sale, there is often a bidding war. People will often bid more than the asking price, often up to 25 to 30% more. Corner lots are very popular in Vancouver. Here we have a new house that has just been put up, and there's something very special about it, as you'll see in a minute. Okay, that was a very short minute, but here is the surprise. It's another laneway house, as you can see. It's much smaller than the original house and fits in the backyard. We have a house that is only 13 feet across because the man who bought it only had half a lot to build on. It's quite incredible. Here we have a house that is currently on the market. The market value for this in this area would be between $1.5 to $2 million. Quite surprising. Here you have two traditional Vancouver homes. On the left is one that is a little bit run down. They need to put some money into that. On the right, you have a house that has been remodeled, but they still keep the old style, which I really like. Here you have an older model house, often found in Vancouver. If I look next door, you have the newer styles. There were probably two older homes here at one time, but they were torn down to make way for these newer models. Here's a good example of what happens to the old houses. The minute they are sold, they are torn down to make way for these new houses. And if you look through the doorway in the back, you will see they are making a laneway house as well. So they have divided the property in two. They will have the main residence up front and a laneway house in the back on the alleyway. The value of something like this would be between $2.5 and $3 million. Right now, Vancouver is experiencing a drought. Therefore, there are some very serious water restrictions, and people are not really allowed to water their grass. Therefore, you see a lot of brown grass at this time. A solution for this is to have a desert garden where you don't need a lot of water. These are becoming very popular. Another trend in Vancouver is having a garden in your front yard. Imagine how much fun this would be if you could have this in front, getting your food fresh every night. My personal favorite are these old homes that have gardens in front. Beautiful flowers, fruits, and vegetables. The average price for a family home in Vancouver is now $1.4 million. Condos are no better, the average price being $500,000. False Creek is one of the more popular areas for condo owners to buy. There are two reasons for the explosion in prices. Number one is the urban containment policy, which the government has implemented by banning further development of all suitable land. Therefore, farmland will not be taken up by condos. The second reason for the steep price increase has been the immigration from China, as many Chinese investors have come to Vancouver to park their money. They invest their money here, therefore it is safe from the communist government.